Today, we're diving into some really fascinating research by Imran Chauhan that gets to the heart of a common problem. Are you trying to fix how your team works or what your company actually delivers to people? They might sound similar, but as we'll see, confusing the two can lead to a whole lot of wasted effort and seriously frustrated customers.
You know the feeling, right? You're stuck in a meeting that's just going nowhere, or you get that sense that your customers, well, they just aren't happy with what you're providing. To fix these kinds of problems, two powerful ideas often come up: process facilitation and service design. We're going to use Imran Chauhan's comparative review as our guide to finally figure out which tool is right for which job. So here's our game plan. We'll break down what process facilitation and service design really are, put them right next to each other to compare, see how they actually work in the real world, and then we'll land on the one big thing you need to remember. Let's jump in. Okay, so the central problem that Chauhan's paper really zeroes in on is that these two fields get mixed up all the time. I mean, they both promise to make things better, but they tackle fundamentally different issues. And using the wrong one is kind of like trying to turn a screw with a hammer. It's just not going to work out well. All right, so let's grab our first tool from the toolbox: process facilitation. Now, based on Chauhan's analysis, its focus is completely internal. It's all about looking inward at the team itself and how it's functioning. The absolute key idea here is that the facilitator doesn't actually have the answers. Their job is to be a totally neutral guide. They create a structure, a process, where the group can discover its own best answers. They're not the sage on the stage, they're the guide on the side. And because that focus is so internal, it's all about things like participation, building consensus, and managing the group's dynamics. The goal here isn't to redesign the car. It's to pop the hood and fine-tune the engine so the team can run more smoothly together. Okay, so let's flip the coin over and talk about service design. If facilitation is all about looking inwards at the team, Chauhan's research makes it clear that this discipline looks completely outward, straight at the user. And right away, the priority completely shifts. Chauhan's analysis couldn't be clearer. It's not about how the team feels during a meeting. It's all about how the end user feels when they actually interact with your service. The entire process is built around that person's experience. This focus on the user brings in a whole different set of tools. You've got concepts like co-creation, where you're actually designing with your users, not just for them, and prototyping, where you build and test rough ideas in the real world. See, the goal isn't a better meeting, it's a better journey for the user. All right, so we've got our definitions. Now for the main event. Let's put them side by side. This is where Chauhan's paper really helps us out, with a direct comparison that shows exactly where they're similar and, more importantly, where they're totally different. And Chauhan's analysis here just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the approach. Facilitation is internal and participatory, while design is external and user-centered. Their methods are different worlds. One is about group dynamics, the other is about design tools. And this is crucial. Look at the outcomes. Facilitation gives you an improved group, while design gives you tangible things for the user, like a better experience. So what this all boils down to is a really simple but powerful difference that the research highlights. Process facilitation is asking, how can we, this team, work together better? Service design asks a totally different question. How can our customer have a better experience? One looks inward, the other looks outward. But it's not like they're complete opposites. The research actually points out they share some common DNA. I mean, both are built on a foundation of empathy, collaboration, and this idea of constantly improving. Think of them as different, specialized tools from the same advanced problem-solving kit. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but here's the million-dollar question, right? How does this actually work in the real world? When do you pull one tool out of the box instead of the other? So how do you choose? Well, the great thing is the research gives us some really clear guideposts for matching the right tool to the right task. Chauhan's analysis shows you're going to want to reach for process facilitation when your goal is internal. Things like getting everyone on the same page for a big strategy, sorting out conflicts between departments, or navigating a big organizational change.
The key is the facilitator isn't there to give the answer, they're there to help the group find it themselves.
And on the flip side, you bring in service design when your main goal is creating or improving something for an external user. Things like making a patient's entire journey through a hospital better, or redesigning a banking app so it's not so frustrating, or even rethinking a city's bus system. It's all about the end product for the user. But here's where the research gets really powerful. The two aren't just separate tools, they're actually better together. You can start with facilitation to get your internal team completely aligned on what the real customer problem is. Then, once you have that clarity, you unleash the service designers to go build an amazing experience for the outside world.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's be real for a second. The research is very clear that neither of these approaches is a magic bullet. They each come with their own set of hurdles to watch out for. And Chauhan's review gives us a really balanced look at these real-world challenges. For facilitators, the big struggle is often dealing with people who just resist change. And it can be really hard to measure the ROI on soft skills, like better collaboration. For designers, well, the best ideas in the world can die on the vine if you don't have the budget, the time, or the leadership support to actually make them happen. So, if you remember just one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this simple, powerful distinction. A facilitator helps a group improve how it works. A designer helps a company improve what it delivers. It's all about how versus what. And that leaves us with one final question to take back with you to your own work. Take a hard look and ask yourself, what really needs fixing right now? Is it the engine, how your team is working together? Or is it the car itself, the experience your customer is having out on the road? As Chauhan's research makes clear, knowing which problem you're actually trying to solve is the first and most important step.